Hey, how y'all doing today? My name is Tyler Sanchez, and I'm here to talk today about non-governmental organizations' role in a disaster. So let's start with what is a non-governmental organization? An NGO is any nonprofit voluntary citizens group which is organized on a local, national, or international level. They're task-oriented and driven by people with common interests. NGOs perform a variety of service and humanitarian functions, bring citizen concerns to government, advocate and monitor policies, and encourage political participation and provision of information. Some are organized around specific issues such as human rights, environment, or health. They provide analysis and expertise, serve as early warning mechanisms, and help monitor and implement international agreements. So the area of focus for NGOs in a disaster have a variety of purposes. They serve as healthcare providers, educational institutions, religious organizations, charities, professional societies, civic or community associations, social clubs, and standard-setting bodies such as the Emergency Management Accreditation Program. The NGO's role in a disaster varies. They have a lot of tasks. They perform emergency shelter operations. They perform search and rescue, mass feeding, emergency health care, psychological counseling, emergency home repair, pet rescue and care, sandbagging, and emergency communications, just to name a few. So in the disaster operations, governments may contract with non-governmental organizations to provide essential services that may not be available through public agencies, such as community crisis counseling. They may also offer their own services independent of the efforts of local, state, and federal government agencies. An example of this will be church groups during a disaster or charities, handing out clothes, providing shelter, handing out food and water for the victims in disasters. Nonprofit organizations may also provide disaster preparedness programs as well. Some big examples of NGOs are the American Red Cross, the International Association of Emergency Managers, and the Salvation Army. So the relationship with public agencies. Nonprofit organizations such as churches and volunteer fire brigades have historically been involved in disaster response and recovery operations and are increasingly being used to deliver public services directly. Most communities still rely on local chapters of the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army, the two largest non-governmental organizations involved in disaster relief. They assist victims in floods and fires, which are two of the most common disasters in the United States. In conclusion, an NGO is an organization independent of government that is civilian-based and staffed. They have a primary mission that is not commercial, but focuses rather on social, cultural, environmental, educational, and other types of issues. They depend on outside sources of funding and materials in order to operate. They most often aid in disaster recovery and response as well as preparedness as well. There are thousands of NGOs, all having strong efforts to help aid in disasters. Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching my presentation on non-governmental organizations' role in a disaster. If you want to know some more about this or have any questions, comments, please email me and I'll be happy to answer. So y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.